Hi friends, it's Julie Golding-Page, independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator here in St. Stephen, New Brunswick, Canada, along the tidal Scoodic or St. Croix River, the traditional territory and home of the Passamaquoddy. And I'm grateful that they share this beautiful place with us. Today I have the second in my new series of videos that I'm going to be doing throughout the fall. I hope through the end of December, 3 times a week. So I'll be making a card 3 times a week if at all possible. Unless life intervenes from time to time, but that's my plan. And I would love to know what you think of this. If you think it's helpful to you, if it's fun, if it serves your crafting needs, that would be great to know. And I've got a link here that's featured that you can click on. That takes you directly to my holiday events. And I just want to tell you a little bit about those before we get into our project today. So my holiday events include all of my gatherings that are coming up, both in person and online. And if you just click the link that's right here featured in the video, that'll take you to the page with all of my different events listed. And you can register for any of those and just RSVP to me. And if you have any questions, just let me know. I'm really happy to have them done all the way through the end of the year. I may add 2 or 3 other things as they come up if new things are released. But I just wanted to let you know all the things that are available. So it covers the fall, it covers Halloween, and it covers Christmas and into winter. So I'm really excited about all the variety there. I've even got something that is a home decor project. I've got a jewelry project, and lots of cards. And so please do take a look at that. And I will go right into my project now. So today I want to do a project, again featuring this Market Goodness stamp set. These are the dies that come with it, but today we're not using the dies, we're just using stamps and ink to create our card. And then we'll put on a little bit of embellishment and ribbon, but we're only using one color of paper and we're letting the stamps and ink do all the work. So this is actually a really economical way to make a card because you need very, very few supplies. And I'm just going to demonstrate how you create all of these vegetable images, because sometimes that can be a little bit off-putting if you see that it's kind of a 2-step process to make one image. So I want to show you that it's not that hard, and we will get right to it and start out. So we're going to be using these colors: Poppy Parade, Pumpkin Pie, Garden Green, and Blackberry Bliss. Those are the 4 that we'll be using. So I'm going to be using this little panel here, and we're going to be stamping right on there. But I like to first try out my stamps. So I've got a couple of just scrap pieces that I cut off some other projects. I always keep these right in a little drawer nearby so that I can use them if I need them. So first of all, I'm just going to try out this pumpkin pie, and we're going to stamp carrots. So I'm just going to try that out and see how it's stamping today. I like to try out my stamps ahead of time because based on humidity, temperature, the age and the juiciness of your stamp pad, you can get rather different results. So there's the carrots, you can see there. And this is a really juicy stamp pad. I know that because it's brand new. And so I'm just going to stamp it. Whoops, no, not once. That's not enough. Okay, so I'm just stamping it a couple of times. You can see I've got really good ink coverage there. So I'm going to just hold it down for a few seconds and see how we did. Yeah, so that's plenty of coverage for your carrots. So I think we can go ahead and just stamp right onto our paper. And I'm going to stamp it over here in the right bottom corner, okay? So let's see if we got enough coverage there. That looks pretty good. So let's stamp it at kind of an angle here. And there we go. So that's our carrots. That's what we got so far. I'm just going to use my chamois here and very quickly clean off my stamp so I do not forget to do that later, and I don't want to get my project stuck in it there. So if you're just joining me today, I did do a video featuring this same stamp set on Monday, so you can find that here on my page, or just click through on the link there, and if you go onto the blog part of my website, you can find it there as well. So now we're going to go ahead and we're going to stamp this green part on the top. So this will be the top of the carrots. So it's just a tiny little stamp here. I'm just going to put it on my block. So there you go. And we're going to try it out in advance as well over here on my scrap paper, because this garden green that I'm using next is actually super juicy. Oh, and I better actually close up my pumpkin pie and put that aside because we don't want to get that one by mistake. Okay, so let's do that, and we'll just show how it goes together here. So you just kind of stamp it onto the top there, and you can see it's pretty forgiving. You don't have to be right exactly on. It'll look just fine. So just kind of match it up as best you can, and then you don't have to fuss about it. It's close enough. So look how nice that is. Just a couple of simple steps, and just like that, you've got it already, and it's good. So the next thing I'm going to do is lettuce. So let's do the lettuce next. And now I've got that green going there. So what I'm going to do for the lettuce, we're going to need two parts here. So we're going to need an outline part and a solid part. So if you're looking at the stamp set, this is the solid part down here, and this is the outline part up here. So what we're going to use for that is this stamp here that has the solid part. So I'm just going to go with the solid, and I'm going to stamp once, and then I'm going to stamp a second time, and you'll see what I got there. So stamping off once and then stamping it again will get you this lighter color. So that's what we want for our lettuce. Now, before we go on, let's stamp the outline and just make sure it's going to do what we want. So we stamped the solid part first, and now we're going to stamp the outline on top. So let's see if we can line that up so it'll suit us. Again, it doesn't have to be precise. You can just go for it, and it'll be close enough. As you can see there, that's close enough. So I think we can go ahead and stamp now right onto our paper. Okay, so you're going to stamp this off. So we're using the solid part first. Again, the solid part is the one that has the most ink on it, and that's this one down here in the stamp set. So we're going to ink that up really nicely. We're going to stamp it off. Hold it down for a few seconds, and now we're going to stamp the lighter part right onto our paper. Okay, so let's see how that turned out. Now look at that. Isn't that a pretty green? It's just a nice pale green, and the benefit is when you stamp off like that, the two colors are going to match exactly because one is simply a lighter version of the same thing. So now we're going with the outline stamp, which is this one right here. Okay, so we're going to line it up as best we can. But again, we are not going to fuss about it because it's going to look fine either way. And that's what we got for our lettuce. So that looks pretty good. So now we've got our lettuce, we've got our carrots. So let's get the ink off our stamps here. And we'll put them back into our set. And then next we're going to do some tomatoes. So we'll do some tomatoes, and then we're going to stamp the vine for the tomatoes as well. So let's see. We're going to just flip this paper over and use the back of it. And we're going to get our little tomatoes out. So there's the tomatoes right there. So let's take those out. And we are going to use for those Poppy Parade. So here's Poppy Parade. All right. So let's see. Let's just make sure these are stamping nicely for us. I always like to do that before I stamp on my project, especially when you're stamping so many things on one paper like this. We're not going to cut them out. We're going to leave them as they are. I want to make sure my images are coming out the way that I want. So that's why I'm doing this. All right, so let's just make them kind of going off in that direction. Okay, so that's very clear. Look at that. Nice so far. Very lovely bright colors. So I'm just going to clean up this stamp as well and replace it into my set. Okay, so that's this one here. And now we need the vine and the leaves for the tomatoes, which is this one up here. So if you're looking at the front, that's this one here. Okay, so let's get that out. And we'll put that on here. And we're going to try it out on this paper first, just to make sure we know how we want it to line up. So let's see. Where does this need to go? Kind of like this. So you can sort of line it up there as best you can. Again, it's pretty forgiving. There are some white bits on either side of the image. As you can see, there's little white bits built into it. So you don't have to be right on. It's okay. You just line it up as best you can and take it from there. All right, let's try that. Oh, very nice. Look at that. Beautiful. Okay, so we've got those 3 veggies so far. Well, I guess tomato is technically a fruit, isn't it now? Yeah, I better not get that wrong or my daughter, who's 13, will correct me because she knows all about these things. All right, so let's put this back in. And now we're going to put one more vegetable there, and that is this one right here, which I'm going to call an onion. Now, you could make it into other things as well, but I'm going to say it's an onion, and we're going to put that in there. Okay, so there it is on my block, and I'm going to stamp that in Blackberry Bliss. So that's a color I haven't often used. It's really a beautiful, handsome color, but I just don't have a lot of occasion to use it. So there's Blackberry Bliss. Now this is a really juicy brand new ink pad. So I'm going to just tap it a couple times lightly and see what we get. Okay, that's a little too dark. Let's try that again. Yeah, this is stamping really dark. Okay, yeah, this is super juicy. Okay, that's more like it. So I have to go with a really light hand on this because it is so juicy, but I think it'll be okay. All right, so there's our purple onion. And we're going to get a top for that little guy. And here is the top for that onion right here, this little green piece. So it's tiny, 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 just really little. And we're just gonna go ahead and stamp it right on the top there. Okay, so here are my 4 veggies. Look at that, very nice, hey? Really good for harvest season, which we're in right now. I'm just going to clean off my little tiny stamp there. I find these go AWOL if I don't put them away straight away. And so I'm going to put that away right now. And I'm going to stamp my greeting up here at the top. Okay, so let's see, which one would I like to use? Oops, my cards are falling over here. All right, I think I'll use this one that says thanks a bunch. And we will go with garden green for that one. All right, let's try that out on our little sample paper here first. Okay, that's a little bit wonky. Let's give it a little bit more coverage. Let's try that. Ah, that's much better. Look how much better that is. It doesn't have all those little missing bits there. Okay, so we'll do that. I'm just going to line this up on my grid here so that I don't get it crooked when I stamp it. All right, so we'll just hold that down for a few seconds and up we come. So here's my image and it's got my sentiment. So there's very little left to do to finish this card. It's such a nice set for making a card with basically stamps, ink, and paper. Really, really low number of supplies needed. So that's what we've got. Let's close up all our inks here. So again, that was Blackberry Bliss, and the green I've been using the whole time is this garden green, but you could use whatever green you have. Any orange, any red, any green, and any purple that you have that you like. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do is actually put a length of ribbon across here. And I'm going to be using this brand new ribbon that was just released with the holiday catalog. It's Blackberry Bliss and Gold textured ribbon. So if you're looking for this online, the number for the product number is 164039. And you can see it's just this beautiful ribbon with a lovely gold shine on the edges like that. And I'm going to put a length of that across here, right at the top of the card. And I'm just going to cut it right off the spool because I find I waste a lot less of my ribbon if I just cut it off the spool as needed. As you can see with this piece, there is not even a millimeter that I'm going to have to cut off and throw away. I just cut exactly what I needed. So I'm going to put these mini glue dots on either end of it. And we're going to take this here and put this ribbon right on the card. Oh, if you hear anything in the background, it might be my dog, Benny. He's a mini schnauzer. He's kind of nosing around in here wondering what I'm doing. So there you go. That is our piece of ribbon there. And I am also going to feed a length through here and tie it. So again, I'm just going to tie it right on the spool here. Oh, hi, Benny. Oh, that was a big yawn, Benny. You must be tired. Didn't you sleep all day, buddy? Anybody else have a dog that they like to have as their coworker in their office? He often spends time with me, and my puppy, who's a almost 9-month-old wire fox terrier, also comes in. So we're terrier people here. We love, love, love those little scrappy guys. They're so much fun, and they keep us fit because we have to walk them a lot to keep the energy down for them. Okay, so there is our nice little bit of ribbon. I'm just going to get rid of those extra little bits. And I'm going to adjust this up slightly so it's a little bit better position. So look at that, just with a nice line of ribbon across there. And again, if you're looking for this, it's Blackberry Bliss and Gold textured ribbon, number 164039. And if you need to order anything, please let me know. I'd be happy to help you if you're in Canada and don't already have a demonstrator. All right, so the last two things we need to do now are to put this on the card. So I have some thick basic white cardstock here. Oh, and I should say too that on the days after I go live with these cards, I will be blogging the cards so that you'll have access to the video. I'll transfer it to YouTube, and also I'll put the full supply list up so you can get the supply list for whatever I've used for that day. Okay, so here we go. Let's use some dimensionals to put that on. So I like to put 4 on the corners there. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1 in the middle. And then we'll stick that on the card. And the last step will just be to add some embellishments. So I love the simplicity of this card. I got the idea actually from the Stampin' Up! Website because they had a card quite similar to this as part of their product listing for this stamp set. And I just really liked it, and then I changed it up a little to suit myself. So there's what we've got so far. Now that would be a perfectly nice card to give anybody, but we're going to put a few little embellishments on. So I've got these ones here, and we're just going to put those on. These are called Adhesive Back Dots for Days. They're quite lovely. And I'm going to use these green ones. These are garden green, and I think they'll go really, really well with what we have here. So let me see. How about we put one here? And maybe I'll take a large one and put it here. Maybe we'll put another small one over here. Maybe another large one over here. And how about a small one here? So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of them. I like to go with odd numbers because that tends to work the best in design. And that is the end of our card. So very simple supplies, paper, ink, a stamp set, and then I just added a little bit of ribbon and embellishment just to add a little extra interest. But it looked really nice even without those. So thank you very much for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed my project. And please do come back tomorrow. I will be posting this card, a photo here of the card, and then the link to my supply list and the video on YouTube. And then on Friday, I'll be back with a new card. So bye for now, friends. Have a wonderfully crafty evening.